Hi, welcome to the Resilience Movement podcast. I'm your host, Donna, and thank you for joining me. I want to talk about, did you have a bad day, or did something annoying happen that you allowed that to turn your day bad? So sometimes things can happen in the beginning of the day, and we decide to tell ourselves that we're having a bad day. But realistically, is everything bad? Like, okay, you spilt your coffee, but does that mean the rest of the day has to be bad? In fact, what if we decided not to label our day good or bad? What if each moment is what it is and we don't accumulate all of these stories to make it a bad day? Yep, you can have a difficult time at work. And honestly, if that difficult time at work continues day after day after day, and it's outside of your control, I get that. I've lived that. Uh, However, if something happens to you, someone cuts you off on your way to work, that doesn't mean you're going to have a bad day. That just means you could ask yourself, what must be going on for that person for them to cut me off? If you spill your coffee, it's just spilt coffee. If you couldn't find a car park, well, you clearly did not talk to the parking fairy enough on your way to the car park because we can always find a car park. You know, we can label these things good, bad, right, wrong all the time. But what we do is we tend to attach an emotion to those things, right? What do we attach? What emotion do we attach to a good day? What emotion do we attach to a bad day or a bad moment? So it was probably 15 minutes of something that might have changed your mood. But I tell you, if you put on a song that you really love, that will change your mood. If you put on a sad, dreary song, that will change your mood too. So you've got to think about, what can I do to change my mood instead of allowing the external world to control your mood? There's been a few challenges that I've had over the past 12 months, and I've had to work really hard some days to change that. And I use music, books, I use other things to change what I'm thinking or what I'm focused on. When we focus on the negative, I guarantee you we will get more negative. When you focus on the positive things, you will see more positive. Have you ever thought about buying a car and you didn't really see that car around until you decided to buy one? And then you see that car everywhere, or you see something that you had not thought about a lot. You start to see it everywhere. I guess it's like the algorithm of your mind, right? So think about the next time you say, I'm having a bad day. Are you really? I want you to consider that. It actually isn't a bad day. It could just be a challenging moment. And when you are more conscious of this and you can shift that, you will realize how much more control you have over your own mindset. You'll realize how much more control over your own day you have to be able to focus or do the things that you need to do. The important things first. If anyone's ever read Brian Tracy's book of Eat the Frog, that's doing the worst first, right? So if there's things that challenge you, if you leave those things till the end of the day, your mind is going to be processing and thinking about those things all day. However, if you do those things first, it's done and you can let it go, because procrastination is not going to help your mood. It's just going to keep you in that state, but you are in control of that. And I want you to do a little test. I want you to think for a minute about a time where you've laughed so hard. Think about what that moment was when you were laughing and laughing. And you can remember that, and you start to feel that inside when you remember it. But if we also think about a sad moment, we think about a moment that made us feel different. We started to get sad, or you started to get uncertain about something, or you created some fear. We can move back in there. So we can move in and out of these emotions at any time we choose. I want to give you a very profound moment where I know when this is happening. And a few days ago, I was on a drive to go and visit my niece, and she introduced me to a new song. And it's just got a vibe. This song has a vibe. And every time I hear it, it's just so uplifting. It makes you want to dance. Well, it makes me want to dance anyway. And I was driving, and next minute I saw that there had been an accident on the side of the road, and there was someone who was on a motorbike who unfortunately had been part of that accident. And he was on the ground, and people were supporting him. I instantly felt a shift. That song was playing. However, I instantly felt that shift. We had to slow down and move through the traffic, and you know what was happening inside. Like, it was complete change in my vibe, in my energy. And I did find myself going, oh my gosh, I hope it's not a fatality. I hope, because people have family, and it will be there'll be a loss, and there'll be sadness, and people also were in that accident, so they experienced that as well. And so if I think about that and I focus on that for a long time, I feel that deeply. And after that, it didn't matter what song I put on, that was still in the back of my mind, but it changed me. And so there are times where we can be super aware of what's happening for us. And there are other times where we do need to shift it for various reasons. One, because we want to shift it. We don't want to feel that low energy. We don't want to feel that sense of sadness all the time. We're able to lift that and change that mood. So again, I come back to, if you want to say you're having a bad day, can you reflect on that and say, was it really a bad day, or was it a bad moment? Was it 30 minutes that impacted my 8 hour day, or 15 minutes that impacted me for hours? Uh, Use your emotional intelligence, really start to reflect on that and see if you can change your own vibe. It's only a short one today, but I really want to thank you for joining. And if you can, follow us, share with someone who might get benefit from what we're talking about. Until next time, take care, stay resilient.